Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another video. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you will be updated on all my future content. So this video, this live stream, is going to focus on solving division problems that include decimals. Our first example problem is 5/10, or let me rephrase that. Our first example problem is 1 25/100 divided by 5/10. Now this is actually very similar to dividing whole numbers with one additional step in the very beginning. So the first step is we have to change the number we're dividing by to a whole number. We can't divide by a number that's a decimal. So here's how we go about doing that. And I'm actually going to rewrite the division problem with this change to a whole number. We can change the number being divided to a whole number simply by moving the decimal point over. But what we do outside the square, we have to do inside the square. So we also have to move the decimal point over for the number inside. So we now have 5 we now have 12.5 divided by 5. So now from there, it's just basic division. We start out with 12 divided by 5. How many groups of 5 go into 12? If we count by 5s, 5, 10. We can get 2 groups of 5 within 12. 10 is as close as we can get to 12 without going over, so that's what we're going to subtract. Twelve minus 10 equals 2. Next, we bring down the 5. 25 divided by 5. We've got to figure out how many groups of 5 go into 25. So here we go, counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we ended up counting by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to get to 25. 25 divided by 5 equals 5. So once we move the decimal point over, we simply divide as if we would with the whole number, and then at the very end, we have to line up the decimal point. And I could put the answer on the original problem here as well. 1 25/100 divided by 5/10 equals 2 5/10. All right, moving on to the next example problem. It's the Mr. Camilleri show. It's the Mr. C. It's the Mr. Camilleri show. Shout out to Mr. C. All right, next example problem. So we have 4 35/100. Another way of saying that is 4.35 divided by 5/10, or 0.5, however you want to say it. Let me just make that a little neater there. So step 1, we move the decimal point over to ensure that the number we're dividing by is a whole number, because the number outside of the square has to be a whole number. So we have to move the decimal point over one place, and we have to do the same thing with the number that's inside the square. So now that we are now dividing by a whole number, we have 43.5 divided by 5. So from here, we will divide this as if it were a whole number, and then we will line up the decimal point at the very end. So 43 divided by 5, we've got to figure out how many groups of 5 go into 43. Let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we were able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 groups of 5 within 43. So 43 divided by 5 equals 8. There is a remainder there. What do we subtract to find that remainder? We subtract the closest number we could get to 43 without passing it. So 40 was as close as we could get to 43. So that is what we have to subtract to find a remainder. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Please hit the like button. It really helps the algorithm. So 43 minus 40 equals 3. We have a remainder of 3. Next, we bring down the 5. Next, we have 35 divided by 5. So counting by 5s here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So I ended up having to count by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times to get to 35. So 35 divided by 5 equals 7. So now the very last step is we line up the decimal point. Now the number inside the square has 1 digit behind the decimal point, so there has to be 1 digit behind the decimal point in our answer. And I will write the answer, our original problem as well. Four and 35 hundredths divided by 5 tenths equals 8 and 7 tenths. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Please hit the like button. It really helps the algorithm. All right, that is my live stream for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the video, and if there was an area of math or reading that you're having difficulty with, put that in the comments, and I will do a future video on that skill. Until next time, this is Mr. Camilleri signing off.